Town Hall. The town work session for the town of Ossining for April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2014. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So we're going to go down. We have about 10 items on our work session agenda, and then we're going to go into a special meeting just to do a couple of resolutions after we've done our speaking. We're going to try to stay in order, but if Tom is on his way, he just sent me a message. So if we get to his stuff, which is very important, we will wait for him. But that's probably him walking in the door now. So. The first item on our agenda this evening is a review of the amended cabaret license for Myra Riviera. Did anyone have any questions about that? And what? Okay, sir. What?
I don't think that the law makes provision for live bands. Is it?
It's karaoke they're looking for.
No, they're looking for more than that.
Yeah, the mariachi band. Okay.
The mariachi band, yeah.
Mariachi band.
Well, I think that we had already we had already said okay to the mariachi bands. Or we're actually on the amendment, but we can check that out for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure it says live bands because.
We did already approve that. This is only to extend the hours for which they may have the privileges that they've already gotten.
But they said it would be mostly karaoke at night in the bar, in the front. So it's not near the back. It's not near the back room, which is where the houses are across the street from.
I mean, under any circumstance, they still have to comply with the town's noise ordinance.
Exactly.
Which should protect.
He said no trumpets and no. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I don't want to go off onto a tangent. I was going to say, can I get a copy of the noise ordinance one day? I never asked for it. I just don't know what it is.
We'll put it up on the.
But this is just to extend their hours, right?
Yes, this one was just to extend their hours,
and
it was only for a few hours.
Yeah.
You know, they right now I believe they're.
It was to 9,
Otherwise,
it
it's
goes to
identical to
11.
the prior one that was
Exactly.
issued.
It was.
So there's never been an issue with it as far as.
Yeah.
I think it's less than, but 11, right? 11 is
11
what we.
out, 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock is what we want.
11
No,
a.m.
no, no. It's back up. It's till 1, isn't it? Or is it 11?
They have requested, I believe, longer than the board decided to give them.
Right.
To say, let's do this as a trial.
Right.
So you're extending it, but not for as long as they have requested.
So what
Right.
does it say in the law? I should have it
And
right
the resolution says
The
11
resolution
o'clock.
says 11 to 11
here.
p.m.
Okay.
11 a.m. to 11 p.m. If you want to table this, and I'm actually
Yeah.
looking it up right now on my phone, so if you want to table this, move on to the next.
Yeah,
I'll see
why don't
when-
we
And they
do
had
that?
asked till 1
No, they had actually asked for till 2.
because that's what the previous was, 2 o'clock.
And that,
No, the previous owner. The previous owner.
Yeah,
that
that's what I
could
mean.
set a bad precedent, too.
But that was
That was what the
that was Tuscan Grill. They had till 2 o'clock, and we had said to them, this agenda item is not right because I'm the one that, I sat with them, but we had said to them not 2 o'clock. But see, they said that I think their old one says 11, and that
Could have sworn they asked for 1 and you said 12. I could have.
no,
sworn
they
that
asked for
was the-
2 and I said 1.
Oh, geez,
Yeah,
many
I know.
years.
So let's table. Well, we'll talk about that at the end of the meeting, and if we have to table it until next Tuesday, we can do that too. But we didn't have anyone. The key is we didn't have anyone come in at the public hearing complaining
Right.
about them. Okay, but it is very.
Or in the past about Tuscan Grill or any
Right.
other previous, having any, and they had a later. So
Right,
I
right.
think
Right.
it's fine.
They wanted to. Yeah, we'll just get the time, but I'm sure that's not right. I'm sorry I didn't check that too before you. Okay. Let's talk about the request for court attendance to receive peace officer status in the town. So I'll open up this discussion, and so that people get a better understanding of what we're talking about here. For past couple of years, our court attendants we considered them to be self-employed, independent contractors. We were told that that's not, because they have a schedule, there's certain criteria that the state looks at, and that they become employees. In our code, our court attendants do not have the peace officer status, which allows them, with all the proper training and all the proper testing, to carry a gun.
Okay, wait, let me just ask this question. So we were told legally that
Yes.
the state wants us to take them from independent contract status and make them employees. This is something we're being told that we need to do.
Very much
Department of Labor.
Yes.
Oh, the DOL. Okay.
Very much so.
No, but I think that's an important.
No, it's very important, 'cause
So the
we're-
Department
They're
of
gonna
Labor.
be becoming full-time.
They are now full-time. They are now
Part-time.
excuse me. They are now part-time staff people, right?
So,
Right.
but what is
Speak of the devil.
speaking of? So that's exactly what we're talking. So the Department of Labor came in and said
Right.
these people can no longer be independent contractors. They need to be employees.
Right.
And so in order to be employees for the town, there are certain provisions that have to be met. Or certain.
No.
Can I hop in here? Just
Yeah.
maybe, because, okay. So basically, and two of the gentlemen just walked in. How are you? In civil service, there's a title that's court attendant. And so these gentlemen were appointed court attendants when we received them from the village. They're already in that status, most of them. So as a requirement of a court attendant under Westchester County Civil Service law, they have the classification of being peace officers. Now take a second. The village of Ossining peace officers can have weapons if they've passed all of their permit exams and so on and so forth. Town law does not have that included in it.
Does not have
You mean it's quiet?
under the provision of
No, it
peace
doesn't have-
officer,
it's
we
period.
don't have any
No,
The-
we don't have the
The town law is silent on
peace officer.
on
Yeah.
peace
When
officers.
you're talking about town law now, you're referring, there's two things. There's the town code, which is silent on the whole subject.
Of peace officers.
Well, on court attendants or
Okay.
or constables. And then there's New York State town law, which has a provision for what's called constables, which is what we've always considered the court attendants.
Okay.
Constables by law are not also peace officers by law. It's a separate status.
And we can't have them as constables?
it's a different job function entirely.
Okay.
Our understanding, or my
Remember,
understanding,
you
I shouldn't
have
speak for anyone else.
Civil
It's not
service.
Is
necessarily security.
Court
Okay.
attendants are generally serving in the capacity of security.
Right, okay.
Constables are used to deliver summons, paperwork, so on and so forth.
Okay.
So a constable, when someone's acting as a constable, is really just making a delivery. It's a very quick sort of job. Whereas these gentlemen, when they're working as court attendants, are actually standing there for hours at a time working for the town.
And security.
Correct.
For the court.
Okay.
But that's their
So-
job function.
Right.
Yeah.
So because of all of those things, we have to get a provision in town law to have them be peace officers.
Yes, so now that we have them as employees of the town, and we don't have this part done yet, that is why we have Village of Ossining police officers
Yes.
in the courtroom, and they are not allowed, our court attendants are not allowed to have their guns in the courtrooms. So we have a police officer assigned to the courtroom, and we are working on getting the legislation done in Albany that will allow us to do this. Other communities have done this already. So we're looking to literally piggyback on some.
It's actually New York State criminal procedure law, it's not New York State town law. New York State criminal procedure law is what designates individuals as peace officers.
And so that's why we have to go to the state to ask
Right.
for permission?
But as we were talking before, there's a particular statute which designates peace officers and describes, and then it's been amended and
For other
$100,000.
communities.
just as an example,
Yeah.
in addition to certain dog control officers and every other type of officer,
Right.
there's
Right.
also the town of Greenberg, just as an example. Section 63, employees of the town court of the town of Greenberg serving as a security officer, provided, however, that nothing in this subdivision shall be deemed to authorize such officer to carry, possess, repair, or dispose of firearm unless appropriate license thereof has been issued pursuant to Section 400 of the Penal Code. So that's the type of an amendment we're looking for.
and then separately they get their licenses for their permits for.
Well, they can't carry the firearm unless they're also properly permitted pursuant to
And
Section
tested
400.
once a year. So, well, when we get to this point, right now, we have unarmed court attendants with a police officer in court. When we get to this point, we have to make some decisions on people that can and cannot.
I've seen him in there with his gun on.
Recently?
Allen.
Recently?
Not yesterday, but I guess maybe around Christmas time or a little.
Yeah, we started this in January. Yeah. So how we have to go about doing this is we need to write to our state senator Carlucci and our state assemblyman. So you got these copies of these letters that our Labor Council put together for us, okay, with the proposed language on the criminal procedure law, and so what we're looking for is you're okay to send these letters out so we can start this process, because right now we are paying for a village police officer to be in the courtroom
Right.
every hour.
This
that
is
the-
costing us.
While we're
Right.
still paying for this.
Well, that's
So
so
these will be full-time employees of the town?
No,
no part-time.
part-time.
Part-time employees of the town.
Part-time employees of the town.
And then this is going to eliminate the police officers.
Exactly.
The
what we
the
now
the,
have in
the
there.
police officers that we're paying for.
Yeah. So once we have this done, it won't be tomorrow, it won't, but we need to get moving along with this process. And so we did the first part, which was to bring them on as employees. We did the second part, which was to hire the village to be the armed security in the courtroom during the court session, only during court session, okay? And now the third part is Labor Council has gotten back to us and said, these are the letters that we would like you to send in the next step, allowing you to amend your code so that you may make your court attendants peace officers.
And who was it that requested this change? Was it the courts?
No,
Was it the
it was
State.
we used to pay.
The state told us that we
Yeah,
had to?
well, what happened was we used to pay them as independent contractors, and the state said to us they need to be employees. So as independent contractors, they could, as long as they followed the procedure of their gun permit, as long as they took their shooting tests and whatever else they had to do, they could carry a gun. But as employees, they cannot carry a gun until we change the code. Okay.
Well,
To say that this is complicated is
Yeah.
the most understated thing.
but
I mean, this
it's
has
a little
absorbed
convoluted, but I
so much-
understand.
No, but
I get it.
we have spent a tremendous amount of time, as you can imagine, as we're spending on other topics too. We spend a tremendous amount of time moving this along too. So
So then, in addition to seeking an amendment of the state law, criminal,
Right.
we're also then going to amend our town code
right.
to permit this.
Right.
So it's a multi-step
So-
process.
So in the state, we're just going to piggyback. Other communities have gone to the state and said, add us on to this legislation. Other towns, okay? And so now we're going to piggyback on that and say, please add us on to the town, and then we start working on our own legislation to make it happen here. Yeah. So that's where we are with it. And until that time, we will continue to having unarmed court attendants, but a Village of Ossining police officer in the courtroom whenever court is in session.
Now, there are the two gentlemen here who are going to be doing that function for us. Are there other?
There's six.
There are
There's
six
six.
total, part-time.
We have six. Let's put it this way: Civil Service has given us given us slots,
Slots, six slots.
6 slots. Yeah. And again, it's going
Are
to
we budgeted for this?
yes, because
6 gentlemen, yes.
yes, because remember, we had them. We were just paying them as independent contractors before, so it's pretty much the same thing, except we're moving them into being employees.
We're not budgeted for the
It's very.
village of police officer who's standing next to them the whole time. So we're trying to move this along.
Yeah, yeah,
And whether
Ah.
budgeted or not, if the state says it's what you got to do,
Right.
yeah.
Well, no, yeah,
The
I know,
process,
but
yeah.
if we have to do the process, but if we can do whatever we can do to get the process
Right.
moving. So, are we being So, are we being asked? Are you guys going to vote on this tonight?
We're asking, there's nothing to
Oh,
vote
good,
on
good.
yet. All I'm asking is for you to say at this meeting, let's move forward, and you don't have to vote on writing a letter, okay?
No,
so-
because I was
yeah.
going to have to not, because it's to the senator.
Yeah, okay, but it's all we're doing, but all we're doing is writing a letter at this point. So,
Yes.
so you don't have any problems with us writing the letter?
No, and plus you was gonna say not, so you can deliver it.
I was going to say you could give it to me, and I'll make it go really fast up
Okay.
to.
Okay, and you have no problem with us doing these letters? Okay, these will be done
No
tomorrow.
problem. So we're going to send those. We will be sending
you
those
went in the
letters up to the
decision-
legislators,
You have to have one
And
meeting. You have to have one meeting,
then
please.
hoping to have it quickly, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you let the gentleman know?
They know exactly where we are on it. They probably know more about this than you guys, because we've had meetings with, yeah.
So we can tell the other guys what's
Yeah.
going on, we can try to keep it.
Yep.
It's kind of a
They've had to go through certain things already. They've had to, we're working with the Village of Austin Police Department on this too. They've been involved in this, on taking them out for to have target
Firearms
practice.
training.
Firearms training is a good way to put it.
And this has really been a team effort. I mean, these gentlemen who had to come in, I think we were in on a Friday night filling out
Yeah.
paperwork, and yeah,
Right.
I mean, everybody's really giving their best effort to do right by everybody else. So I just want to applaud everybody's shared effort. And
I'm
That's
glad
good.
that we're moving ahead with this. This is
Yeah.
good.
Just out of curiosity, fellas, are you already licensed?
Yeah, but everybody's licensed.
Is that right?
Everybody has a permit. Everybody's, we're the same as we were in the village, just we have a different title in the town.
Right.
Just under a different agency, that's all.
Okay. All right. So we'll move forward with that. Thank you, guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is the e-service grant software. Now, Civis. So, Mary,
Mary and Joseph.
I call Maddie everything but Maddie some days. That's when we know I'm overtired. We're going to do a little presentation for you. And what happened was we had a gentleman give us a call, and other communities around us, like Cortland and everything, have joined this and subscribe to this software, which alerts you to every different grant that becomes available. And you put in the criteria of what you're looking for. Since we are working so lean and mean right now, we need a package like this that we can, have it always hunting for certain grant opportunities, because, this especially this board, I think more than most other boards around us, look for different ways of building things, funding funds, right? Doing what needs to be done without it being taxpayer dollars. So I want to show you this this thing. Do you want me
You
to?
don't have the hard copy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she's got one right in your lap.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
It's not color.
Oh, sorry.
Can you move over a little bit? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Here, I made this open so that you can.
There you. Oh, thank you. Okay. So this is a very short presentation that I'm going to walk us through. Okay. I've had a lot of conversations with Richard up there, so I'm going to close this, but I'll leave the paper sticking out there. Okay. Use your mic. Okay, Maddie. Okay, so as in every presentation that you ever go through, it always tells about the company first and everything that that they founded in 2000, a successfully helping organization. They have research tools, database knowledge, and consulting services. You can do anything from having it alert you when a grant is available for something you're looking for to having them write the grants for you. Let's say that you found something and it's way above your knowledge base. You could actually have them assist you and write the grant for you, which is very interesting. Okay? Served in a public sector, higher education, nonprofit organization, and they fund projects too. It provides the technology to identify federal, state, and foundation sources of grants funding. So it's very good that way. It has, which you don't get a lot of foundation funding. And it's out there. That kind of funding is out there, whether it be for the municipality, whether it be for any of your, you could open this up to be for your different organizations in town too. Okay? It's a full service research staff that invests 40,000 hours on professional grant analysis every year. It reviews every grant and provides a summary of the grant instantly, which is very good, because you don't want to, again, you don't want to waste your time working on a grant that ends up that you were not qualified for and for some reason, or you misread it and it was not what the project that you had in mind. Technologies using search engines targets new grant opportunities, automatically delivers new grants to you every day to meet the criteria of your project. So you had a project that you wanted to do, you put in there that you're looking for different grant opportunities to do that, and it will just feed you all the grants that are out there, and then you select which ones you want. Previous funded application library available for reference for public record provides a copy of winning grant applications. Always good to read up on how not to reinvent the wheel, to read out how somebody got a grant, what they put special in that presentation that got them the money. Collection of publications and training courses to core build competency in pursuing and managing grants. Again, once you get a grant, this is another thing, we got a grant. We got a grant and it has a book with it that's this thick, okay? So we've already had 2 team meetings and allocated out job functions to people. Well, if they help us by helping us take training courses, that we can train to help us expedite the time we spend on each segment of that grant. We'll get the information done quicker, we'll be able to process more grants, and we'll be able to get the information to the sources faster. And again, you can take online, because Maddie has been to a grant writing course, but it's amazing how people say, well, I can write a grant, and you really can't write a grant. You know, it's actually a skill and a talent. So we want to take advantage of that and offer this to people to come in and take a course if they want to and learn how to grant write and how to do research and do advanced skill training. Publications, extensive collection of subject briefs and articles covering every facet of the grant process and tailored to all levels of your organization, and a resource library, downloadable and hyperlinked online resources to help you successfully find and win grant funding. So it gives you the tools. We were looking for something that gave us the tools to actually move forward with different grant opportunities that we would have for different projects all over the town that we want to do.
Does this outfit give you references to other organizations where you can contact them and find out more information about things that are pertinent to your grant request?
Well, it will actually give you somebody that, let's say that you went after we went after a grant for Ryder Park, let's say. Let's use Ryder Park, for example, to rebuild the pavilion. We don't need to rebuild the pavilion, but let's say we want, or put new bathrooms in all the parks, okay? And so they would say, here, so-and-so already did this grant, and this is how he filled out the grant information. So it is giving you, then you know, the town of Brown Shirts asked, did this grant already? Well, I have to tell you that when I've been doing different things, not necessarily grant work, but researching different subjects, and I find out that a town or a village or a city already went through this whole process, I call them. And people, just like we're willing to give information that what we've been through on certain subjects, people are willing to give you that information too. So it starts that whole collaborative thing of working together to accomplish the goals, and the goal is to use the resources that are out there with the monies that are out there so that you help save your taxpayers' money down the road. Mm-hmm. Okay? All right. So grant writing assistance, pre-submission peer review. Okay. So it says here 90% are government peers. So they look at your grant and they'll come back and tell you how they feel about it and what they think you could do better, or what they think you know, sometimes you have a tendency, if you have to write a paragraph about something, people write pages about stuff, right? So you write pages about it, and the guy goes, that's not what they're looking for. They don't want to read pages about it. They just want to read 5 bullet points as to why you want to do this project, okay? And then training customized for your needs, topics including assistance in exploring private sector funding options, grant writing, creating an internal grant writing team, which is essential. Not only for writing the grant, requesting the grant, but when you get the grant, managing the grant is the biggest part of the whole thing. So, working together. So it's web-based. It needs no special software is required, and in conjunction with the county, this is a county commissioners, do an annual survey of users. For the May 2012 to 2013 period, users reported being awarded grants to $1.66 million, bringing the total of all grant awards reported since the inception of the program to $15 million. And there's money out there that that we don't have time to research and find, okay? The format and information. I look through the program. I take established programs and then customize them for users. That's what I do. And it was very easy to use, very good program. I was very impressed by it. And when he started reading off that Cortland is using it and the different people that are using it in our vicinity, we knew that it was a plus, okay? So is that the end of it, Marty? Oh, no. Proven tools, identify sources for funding from all sources, easy to use, web-based platform, no implementation or hardware cost, end-to-end grant management solution. I was very, very impressed with this package. I'd like to request that we, I'm sorry. Oh.
No, I didn't know if that was it.
Yeah. Oh, is there another slide?
I believe that's the end.
Yeah. I was very, very impressed with this package, and I'm requesting it's $4,800 for the year.
So I was going to ask, is that this sounds great? I mean,
Yeah.
but is that for the part where it just alerts you, or is that also? I couldn't figure out whether that was inclusive. I kind of looked at the contract, but
Right.
Is it? You know, how far in
If
deep can we go?
he said that you can go, it says limit user, unlimited user access, research and knowledge based annual subscription for 3-year pricing, multiple year discount apply, blah, blah, blah. He said it's $43.20, and unless you actually ask them to physically write the grant for you, this is all inclusive in this
Okay.
package. So if you do that, and they won't write a grant for you until they give you a price.
Okay.
So I thought,
The 4,300 does not include writing the grant.
no,
No, but she's saying it
Right.
includes everything else.
but it includes us,
them
yeah.
You're
notifying us, maybe helping
And
to
giving you the
guide
paperwork.
us, giving us some guidance, and training, right?
Yep.
So it includes all of those things. It just doesn't include them writing the grant, because that's
And
when
they-
you get
but
some money.
They won't write a grant, Northern, until they give you the price for writing the grant. So let's say we went after a grant, it was going to be $25 million. I'm sure that grant process would be much longer. So I'm sure that they base it on what you're looking for too. Okay?
Say, for instance, you saw 3 or 4 different things, and each one is you have to pay a separate time, you know.
Only if they write it.
In other words, you can take it off yourself and do it.
Right. That still costs you because you have to have manpower to write the grant. But yes.
But not them.
But if
You're not-
but
you're
now
not paying
then
them.
if you really establish a good grant team in your organization, in your government, then you know people will know. Like somebody says, my job is to do the history. My job is to do the finances. My job is to do the what's it going to take to put this through. Then you actually start having your little group of tasks, and you can do that a lot easier. You can do your portion of the grant fast. The only time is that they will charge you if you say to them, please, we're working on 2 other grants. We work lean and mean, which is the way the town works. Please, we found this grant. It's magnificent. We're willing to pay you to write the grant for us. Okay?
Okay, so the 4,300 is just to show you what's there.
and to email you, yeah, and to email you, yeah,
And to train?
yeah,
And to
train, and to train you, yeah,
That
Yeah.
comes with the,
yeah.
okay.
And the training.
What were we doing to, we were looking at, we're going to talk about it later in the thing. And we were looking at the new ways of instead of having state contracts and stuff, you are going to go to these outside agencies. And they're all on email alert, too. So you're going to be getting emails,
But this,
yeah.
that's sort of what, Tom was talking about the other
He's
night.
going to, yeah, yes.
With the towns and the villages.
Yes.
across-
That's, and we're going to talk about that real briefly.
But this will complement it, right?
Well, no, this is grants. That other stuff is purchasing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's two different things. Bless you.
What happened?
All right.
Oh,
Well, I actually think this is great.
I thought this
I
was,
think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's a nominal fee
Right.
to be able to have access, because if you pay $4,300 for a year and you get a grant for $20,000, it paid itself
Yeah.
a few times over.
Now, Peter is not here.
what?
I said Peter is not here, so somebody have to disagree.
Okay.
Oh, is that you?
No.
He just wants someone. No, well, you were taking over that.
I know, but I think this is awesome.
I was so impressed. I sat through a demo with it, and I actually said to the gentleman, he goes, "Okay, that's it." And I go, and I have very little patience for sitting through all these demos on the computer, and I went, "Really?" You know.
And I said, I don't understand how they gonna give you so much for this and so
I know.
much for
Well,
that.
because it's web-based, you are actually, you have to put in your parameters. You have to tell it what you're looking for a
Right.
grant for. It's not just going to send you every grant that's out there.
And you don't want that.
And you don't want that because you'll never, because that's when you stop looking at stuff and you
Right,
say,
and you miss stuff.
I'm not going to even look at this, I'm going to
Right.
throw it away. So,
I think it's,
Sort of like junk mail.
Sue, have you
Exactly.
ever considered the possibility of gleaning an intern?
we live for
to-
insurance.
To do this kind of thing?
We actually had Charles Kress last
Yes. Yeah,
year.
we've had
Yeah.
college students in the past. who
We're
have-
going to put out, and thank you for even bringing that up, because we're going to put out our intern request, because the college students get home in May. And we're going to put out our intern request, because we have a couple of different sections where they're actually looking. The assessor's office will be looking for anyone that wants to get into assessing or finance or something like that, if they want to come and spend the summer with us, too. Last year, we had,
This seems perfect.
Perfect,
for-
yeah.
For our particular needs, because
Right.
we don't want you, at least I wouldn't want you and Maddie to get bogged down.
no, but we're going to give you a
in-
part of it, so.
that's right.
We
Everyone
actually
gets-
have already had, I think, 3 people reach out to us about
I'm
summer
stopping now, you
internships.
know
Yeah.
So
So, did you just hear, Maddie? We've had 3 people actually inquire about summer internships with us, so that's very good.
That's good.
This lights got turned back on again. Every time I turn around, they're back on. Suntan time.
Oh, these are mine?
Suntan time. So are you, are you comfortable with that?
Maddie.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah. Oh,
Maddie, we'll put it on the agenda next week to approve that contract. That's very good. Thank you very much. Huh? You mean the interns? Yeah.
But they could pay for themselves.
Well, so.
I will
this
tell you.
sounds- I
It
think
doesn't
it
sound
sounds
good?
This would be something that maybe the public in general will say, that you did a good job somewhere along the line, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we
But you
do.
never get,
Well, we do get it. We just get frustrated with after we do so much work and we don't get an attaboy, atta-girl award, you know. I was very impressed with this software. Okay. I want to wait on I'm just going to skip to number 6, because I want Tom here, as much as we'll talk about where we are with the process of NJPA and the Empire State Purchasing Programs. Yeah, but we'll just wait, because he can contribute some to that dialogue when he comes in, and he's also going to answer our questions about this tax certiorari bond.
Can I
which-
just ask you, what are we doing with this e-civis? I mean, what happens next?
Well, next we put it on the agenda.
Okay.
We put it on as a resolution,
resolution.
allowing the supervisor to sign a contract, and we get it. and then we'll have a meeting, and we'll all sit down and look at it together and see where all our strengths are, and bring some department managers in, and then we'll, get some interns, and you would be shocked at the quality of interns that we get. And we had Charles, and all they want is they want letters. They want letters saying, Charles wanted to go teach Spanish for a year in Spain. That wasn't hard because the young man was exceptional, wasn't he, Maddie, last year? And and so you have pizza. But it was, and they love to learn. They're just
that's
sponges.
the qualification, Maddie?
They're like sponges,
Okay.
so they love to learn. And when the kids are good, they're good.
All right, so we're talking
Okay, so
about
one of the things I want to go down to is number 6, which is request for public input, review of the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan was written in 2002. Are we done? Oh, okay. The comprehensive plan was done in 2002. It's 2014 now. Some of it was reviewed and altered in 2010-11 timeframe. But what we want to do is, we're not saying that it's not a great comprehensive plan, but that's why you review them. You should constantly be updating and reviewing your comprehensive plan. So this is for the unincorporated area. So what we're looking for is input from residents, and we'll be looking for a committee, to put a committee together to take that comprehensive plan and look it over and come up with suggestions, whether they be zone. There are already some zoning changes that you were made, but there was also some that were suggested that weren't made. But that doesn't mean that there's not more, i.e. we've gotten emails about setbacks, and can we require certain setbacks? Can we require certain buffer zones and stuff like that? So we want to put it out there that we'll be putting out a request for people to join this committee, just similar to the way we did the business development committee. And we'll meet regularly. We have absolutely no need for having days off. So, we try to fit everything in. So
I just want to read. I printed out there was a questionnaire at the time.
in
A
2002,
survey.
right?
In 2002, there was a survey, and it seemed to have surveyed somewhere in the vicinity of 300 or so people. And it said, should the town enhance its code and other ordinances in terms of landscaping and setback requirements, tree preservation, overlay zones, and scenic road designations? 283 to 45, yes.
Yeah,
That
but
was
compared
02.
to, we were talking about this upstairs a little bit.
Yeah.
Compared to what? In 1700, you built your house right on the edge of the road.
Right.
So did it
Well,
mean?
no, it's
Did you mean going back 10 feet, and now we want them to go back
Yeah.
15? And that's what you have
things
to.
change.
Things change.
Perceptions change.
Yeah.
So.
There's a couple of buildings that I'd like to see put back a little bit. That, and we have to take a lot of things into consideration. We have to take what's the turning radius off a corner and stuff like that.
So we're asking the community to come out and contact your office
Yeah.
and say that
And
they're
then what
interested.
They're interested, and what we'll do is have one meeting. It probably won't be a town hall meeting, but we'll probably have a meeting here where all interested people can come out and talk to us about the comprehensive, and they won't have read it, but what they see as some of the issues that that they would like this group to work on, and get that input too. We can put it as a part of a town hall meeting, but right now our town hall meetings are pretty full. So that's what that is about. And of course, then we would need a couple of people from the board to be part of that, including council, including our attorney Wayne Spector. Yeah,
I would be honored.
that's good. Because you're the conduit between the glue. You go to the zoning board meetings, you go to the planning board meetings.
You're the glue that keeps it.
Go where I'm needed.
That's right. So I think that's pretty exciting to start working on that.
This is a real process. I mean,
It's a very if
extensive.
I was on the village board when
Right.
we did the comprehensive plan. That was like 4 to 5 years of a process.
Takes a
You need
long
to have open meetings where people talk about it. But since our town hall meetings are so like that anyway, we'll just we can just continue having our meetings that we have and let people talk and give their impressions of things. So that's very important.
We need to be able to make a very clear presentation as to what exists currently
Right.
and what can be changed, what can't be changed.
Right.
Give the parameters to the people as to, there are certain things obviously you cannot change. There are certain parameters you can't do anything.
Okay.
You have to stay within the bounds of the law.
Right. Right.
I know, right next to my house, if you made a left on, a right on Aqueduct, the house is in the street.
Yeah.
I mean,
You live in a very old section though. So back then it's like when you go through
well,
the
they had horse and buggy, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
They
but you
didn't-
know what? When you go through these small towns, even upstate New York, and all the houses and the shops are right on the edge of the road, and now everybody says put your setbacks back or put your parking lots in the front of the buildings rather than in the back of the buildings, which has its
I went to a seminar and the town said that they didn't have a zoning department nor any zoning. So,
Well, they must have been loved by the. I'm sure they're not on the HUD list then.
I don't
Nobody
know.
wants to build.
Yeah. It all depends, it depends on, and it helps you with your open space laws. It helps you with a lot of other things, so, which is something we have people looking at, in taking into consideration, and it will help the whole public understand better that we have a lot of wants, but when property is privately owned,
Balancing.
yeah. So Tom, thank you for coming. Oh, you're taking a sip of your coffee?
Yeah, we've skipped around, so unfortunately,
Let me
no,
I can go on to
because you.
you get acclimated and you drink your tea or your coffee, whatever you have in front of you. We can talk about the next item and then we'll go back. We didn't do your request for a public. No, I'm sorry. We didn't do the questions on the tax certiorari bond yet, and we also didn't do the NJPA and the Empire, so that I can give an update on it, but you might give a little bit more information because you more attentively sat through that demo today. You didn't sit through it today, but you sat through it another day. Anyway, the waterfront mural contest. This is what, and we would like. This is what we'd like to see done. We've had a request from the schools and from, I believe you discussed it in the rec advisory, the mural on the wall of the restroom at Lewis Angle Park with Henry. With Andy Kaplan is running this with Bradley Morrison. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, they were talking about putting, we have this beige bathroom. Thank you. Wait. Oh. Okay. We have this beige bathroom, and so we thought that in part of our sprucing up the parks, we're working on all the parks, different things in the different town parks, that we would allow them to paint the restroom wall, just the blank thing. So
Back wall?
it's actually the one that faces the train.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we decided on that wall rather than the wall that faces the water, because then only boaters would see it, and we really want people to enjoy coming to Austin. So there's a contest. 40 young people have entered the contest.
It's amazing.
If you're available on Monday evening, I'd like you to go with me to do the judging of said contest. And then the project will be picked, and they will be, and the mural will go up on that wall under the supervision of the art teachers from the schools, and with some of their better artists in the schools. So I'm all ready for this, and I'm getting all, and I'm saying to myself, okay, this will be cool. We'll do something with that wall. So I drive down, because we had a little accident where someone drove their car through one of the benches and then over the edge of the Hudson River, but they got pulled out. So I was going over to see that, and I was seeing where we have to get some fences repaired down there, right? So I'm driving back, and lo and behold, I go look at this said wall that will have the mural on it, and it's all graffiti. And I literally almost drove off the road. And I said,
And into a bench.
And into the Hudson River, and they just did
and I
that.
said, Oh my gosh. Listen, people, tell your children, young people, whoever watch this show, we do not tolerate graffiti. That is so unfair to the rest of the people that use the parks, or when you take a street sign and you graffiti it, or you graffiti on a building. That is not fair to the rest of the people. No one cares what your tag. We don't care. Right. And please, we will have, and so everyone understands, we will have more police driving through Lewis Angle Park, and patrolling. We already have them on patrol. And we're also telling you, we have a skate park for skateboarding, okay? Use the park, because we will not accept people skateboarding on our stage or anywhere else. It is dangerous, and it is not fair to the taxpayers that are investing money into the park so that they can be used by all. It's just taking advantage of the situation. Very adamant about the graffiti and the skateboarding.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Can we, at a separate, maybe another work agenda meeting, can we talk about what type of things we're talking about improving the parks?
Sure.
What those things are? Because I would love to know.
Well, we have the Shine House. The
Right,
inevitable
right.
Shine House.
Right. Well, but
We have the stage. I can
Right.
tell you right now.
Well-
So, the ones that they're working on right now.
Okay.
So, some of the things are down at Lewis Angle Park, and every spring we put the town pier back in, because it comes out of the water for the winter, because the water freezes and it pops up. We lost a couple of pilings in the ice because the ice was unusually hard. So they repair the town pier, and they put it back in the water this week, because April 1st they start. The whole boating season will be a little bit later this year because of the fact that there was still ice in the water until last week. So we did that. We're building the new stage at Lewis Angle Park. That will be done by Earth Day on April 19th, much to the chagrin of the Parks Department. But so remember, everyone, April 19th is Earth Day down at the waterfront. It's from 11 to 4, and we expect everyone to come down. Tons of vendors coming in, tons of food vendors going to be down there.
Oh, yeah?
It's going to be a really great time, music and everything. We are also going to redo the whole floor of the spray park down there. It was patched a couple of times, but now we need to redo the floor. It's been there, believe it or not, that spray park has been there for 7 years. Wow. So we have to redo that floor down there. We did get a grant, thank you, Senator Carlucci, for a $100,000. This is when I really was interested in the grant thing, when I got the package as to how you implement the grant. But that is going to help us with recycling water through the spray park. Right now, what we do is we call, and it was okay back then, but it was spray and dump. Water is the most precious resource we have. That's number one. Number two, it costs a great deal of money to spray and dump, and we would like to save that money. And part of our major return on investment will be, of any other monies that we have to put into this project, will be the money saved on reusing the water. And it's just an environmentally better thing to do. So we have a team working on that whole grant already. We're very interested in it. We already have the specialized engineering teams that you have to bring in to do that, because it's water related. So that will be a lot of things that are happening at Lewis Angle Park. We are still working on some of the Sandy related items, believe it or not, in some of the other parks, such as extending the electricity. We were totally demolished. Our electricity system was totally demolished in Cedar Lane Park with Sandy. And we are at a point now where we need to get electricity up to the pavilion there, and electricity up to the dog park up there. So we're in that process of doing that. But that's a lot. And just to take those items, and the Shine House, we're on the inside of the Shine House now. But just taking that many projects, as well as April being the beginning of the Little League, Jesse Collier season, softball, lacrosse, all soccer, all the fields in our little four-man parks crew. They have to line all the fields every day. They have a tremendous amount of daily work that they have to do. We have to give kudos to Mario, has taken over from Albert, and he has done an excellent job. And he's working hard, and every time you give him a date, his eyes like glaze over, but he goes out and gets everything done. And we started our fourth man actually today. He started, and he is very experienced, and he has a CDL license, so we're moving ahead. And the gentleman's name is Maddie, because I mess it up every
The
time.
resolution is actually on for this evening.
Okay.
But his name is Emmanuel, but he goes by Juan. But he keeps switching it up.
He
on
might
us,
call
so
up and say, "This is Emmanuel," and then he'll call up and say this, and I go, "You can't do that."
he's so very excited to be here. He
He
calls
is-
all the time.
He is a local, as everyone knows. We have,
Last name. Okay.
yeah. So
I see it.
yeah. So one of the things is that one of our hiring practices that we did a couple of years ago is we hire from the village, from the town of Ossining, and he comes from the town. He lives in the town, and that's good for a lot of reasons. It gives employment to our local people, and it lets our people be closer to come in when we have emergencies. So we have a lot of things going on in the parks, and then every day, just the everyday things. So every time we have a storm, some tree comes down somewhere or something happens. So we have.
Are we concerned at all about that kind of thing happening over the mural?
No, because the mural is there's absolutely no trees there. Yeah, it's because that's if you go down
No,
and
I'm more concerned with the water.
the water.
Yeah.
It's on
No,
the backside.
It's on the backside.
It's on the backside of the.
And plus, they predict that this would because it's brackish water and everything down there. They predict that as long as those restrooms are there, and it all depends on the feasibility study for the Boat and Canoe Club and everything, because originally, one of the things that we're considering doing is eliminating that bathroom and putting them underneath the new building, handicap accessible, of course. They say that you would have to do the mural almost every year. So, and they've gone out and they've gotten people to donate the paints and everything. So it's pretty exciting project
nice.
because what you're doing is you're bringing your whole community in, you're involving them, you're involving your young people. That will help us too with the graffiti and stuff because no one is going to tolerate someone graffitiing the work that they just spent
Is that going to get
2 weeks.
painted over?
Yes, yeah, oh yeah. That will be. Oh, I'll go paint it over. I would have had them do it this week, but they might have done it because they have instructions, and what we should consider is how we should check how it's illegal because in the village of Ossining it's illegal. If you're caught graffitiing, there's actually
Well, it's
I believe it's a middle school.
it's illegal throughout New York State.
Oh, it is?
To deface public property.
Good.
It is.
Okay.
It's not just the village.
Yeah. Well, I know the village went to
And Monday's fighting it down.
Monday
It's
night.
coming Monday?
I need you there Monday night at
It's no
7.
winning.
So we'll talk about that. Okay, so that's what the waterfront mural contest was all about, and it's very exciting. And what we'll do is if you want to stop by 7:00 on Monday, feel free to. And then there's just a set. There's judges from the schools, there's judges from the village, there's judges from the town. We are
nice.
very inclusive of everyone that was involved.
That's at
in it.
AMD, you said?
No, it's actually at the community center. Will be the judging.
Ah. Okay.
Okay, so Tom, are we ready? Did we have our tea, and are we ready now? Okay, so one of the first things, do you want to come and sit with us up here, or because you can sit in Eric's spot if you want to?
He may not have been drinking tea.
Oh, it's Tom. He was drinking. Was it coffee or tea? Coffee. Ooh, that means he's planning on staying later after.
Thought maybe the Irish.
I didn't think that's what you were suggesting.
He wasn't.
It wasn't.
Oh. So, So here, this is, oh, you have, oh, do you want to take that with you? That's the, we got the approval from everyone to go ahead with that grant package. So, as Tom brought up to us a couple of meetings ago, there's a new way that state bids are kind of going by the wayside, and we could actually have, our bidding process went out a couple of ways. If in our case, in the town's case, and correct me if I say anything wrong, Tom, please, if it was less than $30,000, we could do it with 3 bids, right? For Public Works, right? And then if it was over that, we would go out with a big document and have people come in and do bids. Or you could go out and look on the state bid sheets, and they would have, let's say it was a truck, and you could get a truck or a car with a state bid price, and such a dealership would honor a state bid price, right? So the state seems to be eliminating certain departments and stuff, and it seems like the state bid process is going by the wayside more and more. So there's different see, Tom's now getting to attention, so he can start correcting me. So do you want to take it from there?
Well,
or?
isn't it that they're loosening, isn't it just that they're loosening some of the restrictions for how we can do bidding?
Well,
It's a little bit of both, right?
It is a little bit of both. Is my mic on?
Yeah.
Just
bring it closer to you. Yeah, that's all.
The new piggybacking laws do allow, if a local government allows, piggybacking off of any contract in the entire United States for any government or district or agency, but you have to make sure that the contract was let pursuant to some type of competitive bidding guidelines and process that's similar to New York State. And we don't know what other states do or what their requirement is without doing research. So initially, we adopted the procurement policy for 2014 to just authorize piggybacking on local government contracts within New York State. And as we've been finding out, and especially on the village side, local governments often don't even think about allowing for piggybacking of other local governments onto their contracts.
Right, they don't put the provision in because
Right.
they don't think of it.
Right. But most counties do allow piggybacking just under state law. County contracts are allowed to be utilized by local governments within the existing county or adjoining county local governments. But now, that process now allows utilize of county contracts by any local government within New York State with the piggybacking provisions. The board here had authorized, changed the procurement policy to allow the town to join NJPA, the National Joint Powers Alliance.
Which we thought was New Jersey and Pennsylvania, but it wasn't.
Which you were at first very suspicious of.
That is correct. I did not know what they were. Now I know that
I
they're
remember.
very
He was like, well,
that they're a governmental agency similar to a BOCES
Yeah.
that operates out of Minnesota, and New York State Office of General Services has actually been looking through their contracts, and word is that they're going to endorse some of the contracts. And most of the NJPA items, I believe, are mostly big ticket items like equipment.
Highway equipment, that sort of thing.
It's like we actually got interested in JPA because we're looking to go out. The village needs some playgrounds, and we need some playgrounds in our parks. And we can do it with bigger buying power should we buy 5 playgrounds, and they were looking to use this. So I'm proud to announce that we got our folder and our official certificate.
Wow, we got a certificate
with a stamp on it for NJPA. Okay, so we're officially a member, which will hang on the wall upstairs. Okay, in a frame. Yeah, and we got this little packet. So whenever you want to come up and look at it, Tom, you're more than welcome to come, or anyone else is more than welcome to come and look at the packet. And today we did a demo of the Empire the Empire State Purchasing Group, which we're going to have a demo lesson with them because a demo is not a training class because it was more like a training class. But it was very informative, and the program is so robust. And what I found very interesting is a lot of communities, even local communities, have belonged to this for a long time. So they've belonged to this for years, and they tell you when somebody joins, they tell you when they can do. And what can happen is different people can have different levels they have different security levels. So
Based on what?
based on what they're allowed to do. So
Based on being
Limitations
a
of
particular
dollar amounts?
municipality? Yeah.
no,
the
based on
limitation of-
whether you're allowed to issue a formal solicitation, or you can just look at them. You can look at what's available out there, or whether you can post contracts or post awards inside of our group,
I see.
inside of our town. So some people would be allowed to do anything that's a security level 1. Some people will be allowed to do everything but post awards and post contracts, and that would be a security level 3.
Oh, I see. And it
So
would-
you
I
go
see.
down the different security levels. Did you get this yet? Did you fill this out for?
Security for what?
So
when
maybe
you go online.
I
to
can't,
this-
I couldn't go and purchase or award something. Like, if for instance, if I worked in one of the departments, like, I could look at it, but I can't actually, it's like being an admin user versus just being able to look at something.
So what would happen a lot is people can go out and see what's out there, and then you still keep all the same security you have now that we have with the requisition, the procurement policy, with the requisition policy, and right now we have a requisition and purchase order system that you have to come through the supervisor's office with everything that you want to buy through a purchase order system.
So does the eCivis grant program marry into this at all?
No, this is actually, the grant program is to get money for a project, and this is to buy the equipment. So, if you really think about it far-fetched, you might buy something with your grant money from this after you get the grant. But don't complicate the two. One is a grant program, which was that's this right here, to take it with you. And one is the actual purchasing. Say, for example, when Michael G comes to us and he wants, his loader. Okay, so we could go on here and, but his loader was so specific because of the height and everything. But, or you want to buy a car, or you want to buy, for instance, we may have to start considering buying a new van for the senior nutrition program that goes and picks up the seniors. We would use one of these two companies, and we have the power of using both of them. To find out. And the piggybacking means that, let's say Cortland just bought a senior citizen van, and they got a really great price on it, and they got the guy to say, if somebody else wants this van, I'll give it to them for that price. And we say, we want one. And so when we don't have to go through the whole bidding process and everything like that. So it does let you, with some controls, go out there and do your due diligence, but do your due diligence in a more
Time efficient and
A little more freedom.
so.
And it's also
bigger audience, quicker, more efficient way.
right, and it's also for smaller items as well. In order to comply with the town's procurement policy for certain dollar threshold items, you might need 3 price quotes. And currently, a department has to, look through their own notes as to who might be available or quoted, the previous time, or look through trade magazines looking for possible companies to quote on items. With the Empire State Purchasing Group, you put on their website what you're looking for, and vendors register to belong to the to the Empire State Purchasing Group, and based on keywords that they would select for themselves, they would receive emails saying that the town of Ossining is looking to buy, for instance, ball field clay.
Right.
And so that way, there's hopefully a larger audience of vendors out there that would provide quotes on an item that the town is looking for.
And sometimes when you have a limited base, people say, and they're trying to look for something like ball field clay, some guy will go, forget it, I'm not going to bid on this. I can't meet the other guy's price, so you don't get those 3 bids, and it gets very difficult. This gives you a much larger group of people to go with, so that for that. So we're
And you
very
could also,
pleased.
look at, if you put in like ball-field clay, you'd be able to get a list of other governments that have purchased ball-field clay and look to see what vendors they utilize
Right,
to try to
right.
get more interest.
Good. Excellent.
Efficiency is good.
So we're moving right along with that. There is a training class that for the Empire system, which I asked how long the training class is an hour and a half. So we were almost on there. But we had. I said, you have a very robust system. We just wanted a high picture overview flavor of the system.
30 minutes, right?
We had 15 people sitting in the conference room, which was good. But everybody
I
has.
sat with her for an hour and a half on the webinar, and I wanted more time. It was really interesting, and I was apologizing that I was taking so long.
So you were the opposite of the group this morning, but they got a flavor, and they got to know, the important thing was they got to know all of how robust the system is and how many vendors, how they can go to more vendors, down to folding machines. We brought up folding machines. We brought up Pitney Bowes machines. So there's a lot of things that they use in a municipality. Okay.
Moving on.
So, Tom.
Tax cert.
Yes, tax certiorari claims. The reval process should eliminate the need for tax certiorari claims, but we're not there yet. And
Well, more. It will reduce it.
it will reduce this significantly.
Everybody will
just like,
try.
It's going to be a lag before you're going to see that because there are so many cases in the hopper that go back years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a while.
Well, wait till you hear this number.
Right. So the last time that the town had issued a bond for tax certiorari claims was in 2012. It was $920,000, and that was anticipated for that year, but it actually did last us through 2013 as well. Up in the assessor's office, they maintain a very detailed spreadsheet of of tax certiorari claims and notes about the legal process and such. So my deputy controller had taken that worksheet and actually, based on the anticipated claims that will be settled for 2014, had actually calculated, based on a potential average 20% settlement rate, the amount of tax certiorari claims for 2014, and the amount is about $320,000. So we knew that when the budget was adopted, that the town's plan for paying for tax certiorari claims in 2014 was through the issuance of long-term debt. We did ask our bond counsel to write a bond resolution for $320,000 for the tax certiorari claims. The period of probable usefulness is 5 years. The estimated amount for all funds would be just over $70,000 annually. But because the tax certiorari claims are paid for by the individual funds that levy taxes, it is less amount for each fund. Like, for instance, the estimated amount for the general fund out of the $320,000 is about 23%. So the debt service portion in the budget would be $16,000 a year for the 5 years.
For the general fund.
For the general fund only.
And the rest of it is unincorporated?
No, the town outside and the highway would be, together would be about $37,400. And then there's the amounts calculated for the ambulance district, the water district, sewer district, and the refuge, lighting, and fire districts.
I see.
But the problem is that even with that, our tax percent, our amount that equals 1% of a tax increase is so low. It's like $26,000. Right, Maddie? In the general fund, yeah. So it's a 0.5% right there. But that's, but it's a necessary evil. We have to do it. We have these cases in court.
What's our rate?
When does the, I'm sorry.
What's
Go-
the
when it
rate?
comes
what are
out.
the rates these days?
When the town issued serial bonds last year, that'd be the year before last,
2012.
2012, the serial bond was actually between 2 and 3%.
Nice.
It has been low. It is creeping up a little bit, but going out 20 years, the interest rate generally creeps up to about 4%, but the short-term interest rates are still about 2%.
Okay, so this would be somewhere around there for a 5
It
year?
would be around 2% probably,
Oh, okay.
because it's only a 5-year.
Right, short
Yeah.
term.
So that'll be paid off, Tom, after 5 years?
After 5 years, yes. And we were looking to introduce the bond resolution now because we were going to lump this in with the serial bond for the reval process. So that by putting them together, you can reduce the overall costs. You'd only have to go to Moody's for one bond rating and the fiscal advisor fees as well.
So we have that on tonight, right? Do we have it on tonight? Or
The bond resolution's for next week.
Tuesday, right. Okay, good. Anybody else have any questions? Just something we have to do, unfortunately, But it's part of the reason that we're so, that we really need this reval. And as I put out last week, I think we said we had spent $1.2 million already in the last 5 years. Giving back money, just giving back money, not doing a project like having fair and equitable taxation. So, okay, wow, we're doing good tonight. Lost my page.
Organic community garden rules.
Oh, okay. So you got a copy in your packet
I read the
of the rules and regulations for the organic garden, and that was brought before the Rec Advisory Group that I know of. Yes, I was talking to them. Last Saturday night was a fabulous tennis fundraiser for the tennis team that goes down at Nelson Park, and they do a fundraiser every year. So we had some people there from the Rec Advisory Group, and they agree with the organic garden. The organic garden, if you didn't know, is in Cedar Lane Park. I'm not sure if there's any beds left already because they go very, very quickly. There's usually a waiting list for them.
They said there's a waiting list, yeah. I have to say, I don't garden, but I think this is a great idea. I mean, it's very nice.
I will tell you, I will
community-based.
I will make a confession. I did have an organic garden when it first opened because I wanted to show that I supported it, and I was fired.
Were you?
Yes, because
They will fire
because you must go down and weed your garden.
No, they have very, very strict rules here.
And I give them, they were right. I was not right. I just didn't have the time to take, and this thumb is not green at all. So I mean, I would go down there and spend 6 hours weeding my little space, and be exhausted and not come back. I'm the first to admit it. I do love going down there. If you're ever down in Cedar Lane Park, it's right next to Shine House. And in the summer, it's gorgeous, and there's vegetables, and I won't say fruit. There's tons of vegetables in the garden and lots of beautiful flowers. Some of them, and they're so talented, the people that have the beds in there. So.
Let's know that the vegetables are not to be taken, right?
And no. Actually, there's a lock on the gate. You can look through the gate and you can see it, and that's part of the rules and regulations.
Part of the rules.
You cannot take each other's vegetables, okay? And the thing is that I think this year we'll grow some tomatoes in our backyard, and then because they kind of grow by themselves. So yeah. So
This was brought along by members of the community.
yeah.
They-
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a committee. They're all gardeners down there, and they're very precise, and they have rules and regulations that very similar though.
Dog parks.
I was just going to say, very similar to the dog park. There's rules and regulations for the dog park. That was all community generated. So that's great. So everybody has no problems with so we can have a resolution next week on approving the organic garden rules and regulations, which will be posted on the webpage. The rules will be posted on the webpage, right?
And how are they enforced, if at all? It's just basically on the honor
It's on the honor
honor
system.
system.
Well, the other members
Yeah.
are going to make sure they're.
Wayne,
Yeah.
same as the dog park.
Yeah, hey,
And the other members
before having
make
written
sure
rules,
enforce
they
them.
enforced them. They fired me. And rightfully so.
If you
I'll
don't-
say that
If
again.
if you violate the rules, you're going to get rotten tomatoes.
Well, you know what? It's
thrown
such
at you.
it's such peer pressure. They're raised beds and they're like right next to each other, so there's such peer pressure. You know, like you go there and you have all weeds in your garden, and everybody's just standing there looking at you like, "Are you kidding me?" They do some fabulous programs with St. Matthew's Daycare. They have the kids go up there. They have their own little bed. They do it with AmeriCorps, brings kids up there. It's very interesting. Whole
Me and
package.
Anne-Marie, we looked at each other because I almost know all of the daycares. I don't know that one.
Oh, St. Matthew's. It's
Where
over
are they?
on. Is that on?
North Malcolm.
It's North Malcolm.
Oh,
It's right behind the community center in the back. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Matthews, the church is there.
Yeah. It's a church and a daycare.
In the bottom, in
Yeah.
the basement of the church.
It's very good. So I think we're ready to go into. So anybody have any questions? Because we did do a lot again tonight. You know. Yes, ma'am.
We have to double
Oh.
back to the
Oh,
stuff
yes.
that I brought you.
Yes.
So the time that you all had agreed upon extending it from was 1 a.m. So
To 1 a.m.
Sue, right, to 1 a.m. Sue was correct. The previous owners of the property had it until 2 a.m.
Right.
They were just seeking until 1 a.m. and the
As
board
it
all
agreed upon amount.
that would be a good compromise.
They're
so
all-
we do have to change the resolution to reflect
Okay.
change 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay. So that they will be allowed to have music from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. And what they told me is the stuff after 10 o'clock will be karaoke. You know, karaoke in the front by the bar. And that they said that's why I knew 11 wasn't right, because they said people come to the bar at 10 and they want to have a couple of drinks
Right.
and sing their karaoke. It's a bar, and
That's when people sing the best. Do you know?
well, especially being tone deaf, I'm never going to sing. So,
I don't think we have anything to worry about with those fellows.
no, they're very
They're
conscious,
very,
and you know
very
what?
conscientious.
They are on site all the time.
Yeah.
One of them is always there, which is you're very impressed by that. No matter what time you go in there to talk to them, at least one of the two of them is there at all times. So,
Yeah.
very, very pleased with the whole thing. Okay, and please support Maya Riviera. It's a great Mexican restaurant right on North State Road. They do have the takeout portion, which has Italian food. Not quite sure where that comes from, but the
Oh my goodness! Why didn't I know they have the takeout? I live right there.
The deli.
yeah, they kept the deli portion
Keep the deli
Kept the
there?
deli, yeah.
as the takeout. Okay, so
No, I need delivery. That's what I need them to
yeah,
do.
I'm sure they deliver. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Ooh.
Woo. I have my own. All right, so let's. So I suggest we adjourn into a special session. So do I
So
hear?
moved.
Is it executive session?
No, special session first.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we're moving into the special session of a special meeting agenda for the town board of the town of Ossining, April 1st again, 2014. Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Carter,
Present?
Councilmember Jeffrey,
Present.
Councilmember Wilshire,
Present.
Supervisor Donnelly.
Present.
Resolution A, approval of cabaret license Maya Riviera Bar and Restaurant, 518 North State Road, Briarcliff Manor, Town of Ossining. Whereas Maya Riviera Bar and Restaurant has filed an application for a cabaret license for the calendar year 2014, and whereas the town board has reviewed the application and attachments thereto, as well as reports from involved departments, including the police department and building department. Whereas on March 25, 2014, the town board opened a public hearing on the subject cabaret application, at which time all persons interested were given an opportunity to speak on behalf of or in opposition to the cabaret application, and the public hearing was closed on March 25th, 2014. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby approves the application for Maya Riviera Bar and Restaurant, 518 North State Road, Briarcliff Manor, in the unincorporated area of the Town of Ossining, for a cabaret license subject to the following limitation conditions: mariachi band consisting of 3 to 5 members using a guitar and a trumpet. DJ using a karaoke machine shall be allowed on Monday through Sunday evenings from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m.
1 p.m.?
1 a.m.
1 a.m.
From 1 a.m. until 1
No,
p.m.
11
p.m.
No.
11 a.m. to 11 p.m. That's what it says.
I know, but it was wrong.
Oh.
Remember, we went back and checked that. It's 11 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay. So number 1, hours of cabaret operation, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., Monday through Sunday. Number 2, alcohol will be served only after obtaining a liquor license through the New York State Liquor Authority. Number 3, 1 band, 1 DJ sound system, TV or movie with a maximum of 6 performers will be allowed. Number 4, no amplified music will be allowed outside the premises at any time. Do I have a motion?
As amended, so moved.
Second?
Do I have a motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Letter B, Personnel Parks Department. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby appoints Emmanuel Toribio Ossining to the probationary title of Park Groundskeeper at an annual salary of $54,725, effective April 1st, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Letter C, Tax Payment Plan. Whereas the Town of Ossining is required to collect town, county, and school taxes for a municipality with the onus on the town to make whole the county and the school district for any uncollected taxes. And whereas the receiver of taxes has been approached by a property owner requesting a short-term payment plan for the owner-occupied property at State Street, and whereas the Town Board occasionally grants such a plan and has discretion to accept or reject any proposal by a resident or commercial property owner. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby grants the aforementioned payment plan to this property owner with the understanding that it sets no precedent going forward for this or any other property in the future. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Is this the, if we could, is this the State Street
With the fire?
property?
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's not the
It's another one. It's another one that was headed into foreclosure.
Is there a dollar amount associated with this?
You received the packet from Gloria last week.
Oh,
That
okay.
sort of spells out, I believe we've had a couple lately, but I believe this particular homeowner has already paid half of what they're due, and I think it was $650 a month for the rest of 2014.
Oh, I remember. Okay. Mhm. Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session for legal advice.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So ends our work session and our special session of the town board meeting for the town of Ossining. I want to remind everyone that this Saturday is Extravaganza. Egg Extravaganza. Yes, we do it at Ryder Park at 10 a.m. and we do it at Nelson Sitting Park at noon. So if you're familiar with it, it's the largest egg hunt in the area for all young people, okay? The next Saturday at 8:30 a.m., the next Saturday, which is the 12th, I believe, is the next Saturday the 12th? Yep, is the Jesse Collier Youth Sports Baseball Parade, and it goes from Melrose Lumber all the way to Veterans Park, up and down the hills. It is a pleasure to walk. It's a pleasure to watch. There is little tiny baseball players up until through the grade schools. It is an exciting day for everyone. It's opening day of baseball here in Ossining, and we're very, very proud of all these young little men and women They're very small, so they're boys and girls, and their coaches. We appreciate all the volunteer coaches that are part of this whole thing. It's a fun parade. We suggest you all come, and
Once again, please.
it is the 12th.
The 12th.
So
Saturday
this,
at 9, right?
so no, it's 8:30.
Oh,
It's a new. Your
Kick
paper
off at
say
8:30.
8:30. It used to start at 9, but it's starting now at 8:30. So you have the extravaganza, and oh yes, and on Monday, April 7th at 11 a.m. there will be the Westchester IDA will be having its public hearing concerning the Harbor Square pilot program. We will be there. I will be there.
Where is it?
It's going to be at the community center. I think they're anticipating a crowd, and it is the public hearing on the Harbor Square pilot. And I encourage people to come out and voice their opinion on the pilot. So that's the 7th. That's Monday. And I want to wish everyone an April Fool's Day. We didn't do any April Fools. I know it looked like we did, but we. This is very true. But we enjoyed having this very open discussion, and I think it went. We did very well. We encourage people to come to our meetings. Our work sessions we're always here every other Tuesday. We do want to remind people. Next week we will be at Spring Street having a regular legislative session meeting, and the week after, April 15th, we will be at the public library having a town hall meeting with the agenda item is the kickoff for the revaluation of the properties in the entire town of Ossining. We will be repeating that exact town hall meeting on April 29th, which would normally to us be a night off because it's a 5th Tuesday, but we will be repeating it because there are a bunch of folks with Passover and other obligations that cannot come on the 15th. So we will be doing that second kickoff. So have a wonderful week. Enjoy this beautiful weather that we're starting to have, and I'm putting away my snow shovel tomorrow. So have a great week.